Hey guys, it is Mr. Gallion. I wanted to go ahead and answer some more of your questions because I was surprised a whole bunch of you responded or watched it or both. Not a whole bunch. I mean, it's not, every student I've ever taught or anything, but if you guys are interested in asking questions and having some kind of a dialogue, let's do it. And I would even encourage you as you're watching this, there are some comments down there, and I know that every person on YouTube says that, but my point in doing this isn't to become some big famous YouTuber. It's I want to continue some kind of dialogue with you guys, okay? So if you have comments or you think that what I say is stupid or dumb or, just completely misinformed, tell me that. That's okay, all right? So I'm going to answer the questions here, and I'm going to do a couple things. So some of you guys asked me about my favorite this or that or the other, and so I'm going to actually answer those separately. I'm going to answer some of those in almost like a video series because some of those things are things that I mean, everybody wants to talk about their favorite music or, TV shows or movies or board games or whatever. So I'm going to throw some recommendations out there. And if you'd give me some recommendations too, that'd be great. But let's dive into the questions you asked me, and I'm going to try to keep this as short as I can. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you? That's me. That One Direction is getting back together. I actually didn't know that anything was going on until I saw this question. So I'm just a little bit older than like One Direction. I mean, as far as the interest level of it in it. So when it was a big thing, I don't know where I was, maybe in the Philippines or something. So I'm not like a huge One Direction fan. I like some of the stuff that Harry Styles has done acting wise, like he's in Dunkirk, which is a great movie. I like that. I will say it's really disappointing. Apparently Zayn isn't going to be in the reunion. And so is it really a reunion if you only get like, 90%? I don't know. I don't know how many people are in One Direction, so I couldn't tell you. But I'm really happy for a lot of you because I know that's a big deal. So yay. Good job. It says, aside from One Direction, who's your all-time favorite band? I'm actually going to answer this a little more in a different video, but I'll tell you right now. It's really hard for me because, man, growing up, I would have said the Beatles, and I would have said the Beatles until, for sure, I don't know, 5 years ago or so. And then another kind of old band, but they're still around, called Switchfoot. I listen to a lot. I love their stuff, and I'll maybe include some of their links to a song or two so you can figure out what's going on down below. And then I'll talk a little bit more about them in my other video about stuff I like. What's my favorite sport? This one I will answer because I don't have a lot to say about this. My favorite sport, I would say, is baseball. And I don't really like to watch baseball so much. Basketball is my favorite sport to watch because it's way more interesting. There's always something happening. Baseball is my favorite sport to play just because, number one, so I know that to be really good at it, you have to be super athletic for real. But you can be just kind of okay at it without being super athletic. And that's very much me. So there you go. You hit the ball, and even people that are good strike out sometimes. So if you strike out, nobody's like, oh, you ruined it for everybody, which happens in basketball. And then, like 90% of what you do in the outfield is just standing there, but you feel like you're participating. So that's my kind of sport. I'm not knocking it. I promise I'm not. But there you go. Favorite board game? I'll do another video on that. Be on the lookout. Somebody asked, this is a school question, but I think it's a good one. I wonder if you could possibly give us more time to do assignments. Y'all, don't freak out about that, okay? No matter what, don't freak out about that. I am not, in any of my classes, U.S. history or speech, I am not giving you, there are due dates in Google Classroom, but you should not feel like it's going to be late if it's not turned in by then, okay? This should be the same in every single one of your classes. If it isn't, let me know, because nobody should be giving you late grades right now. There's so much going on that we can't control, that you can't control. Some of you guys have maybe one parent or both parents are in the medical field, and so maybe they're quarantined at work. I know somebody told me that before this all went on, they said if one coronavirus patient came into, I think it was the Greer Hospital, the plan was to keep all the people that were treating them there on site for 40 days. They didn't want people getting out into the community and spreading the virus. I don't know if that's still the case, but man, can you imagine trying to work when that's going on and doing schoolwork? No way. Or maybe somebody gets sick at your house, right? Or lots of things could be going on. Maybe you have just a rough situation at home and people are fighting or whatever. And that stuff, I don't know. So because there are so many things going on, right, that we just can't know or control, I'm not counting anything late probably for the rest of the year, even if we go back. Okay, for sure if we're home. But I know a lot of you guys just have stuff you got to be catching up on. So I'm giving you more things, but don't feel like, oh, I'm behind in this. You have the time you need, and if it's freaking you out, let me know. Okay, but just get it done before the end, and I think you're going to be fine. Okay. Somebody says, I'm sorry you guys couldn't go to Disney for spring break. Yeah, me too. Do you think you'll go again maybe late this year or next year? So here's the thing. We temporarily we just moved it out to late October, early November. I think it's after SLCs and then right around election time. So we vote absentee and go to Florida. But the problem is, I don't know that we're going to want to be in large groups by then. There's a really good chance, and I think you ought to mentally prepare yourself for this, that we're not going to really see things get back to normal, like normal was anyway, until there's either an effective treatment or a vaccine, and we just don't have that yet. So, I don't know. I mean, I would love to be wrong. I'd love to see the virus mutate, and it's super not, deadly or anything to anybody. But I just can't know that. So for now, we're holding on to our spot. We might cancel it. Man, I hope we get to go, but we'll see. Somebody asked me, what have I found to be the most spiritually challenging during this season? And if some of you guys have questions about this stuff, I'm happy to make a whole other, I'm going to do like my favorite things. I'm happy to talk about spiritual stuff in another kind of Q&A thing, but I'll answer this one for now. But man, I'm happy to engage in those discussions for sure. And some of you guys don't care, and I get that. That's fine. So I would say for me, and this is something that's kind of been going on for a while, it's really, am I going to believe what I've always believed? Am I going to keep believing that? So what I mean is, there was a time when I would have said, yes, I believe, and I still believe this, but just hang on. When I would say, yes, I believe God's in control of everything, and yes, I believe God loves me, and yes, I believe God's good, and everything he does is right. That's really easy to say when you're not in the middle of a difficult time, right? But some of you guys know that my sister has a brain tumor and it's probably terminal. Some of you guys know, you all know that we're going through this, and what's happening is not great. It's not wonderful. So am I going to keep believing that? And I think first of all, I think it's okay to talk about that and to have that question, but where you go to get your answers is really important. Okay, so if you are a person who would call themselves a Christian, then ideally I think you would go to the Bible, to people that point you to the Bible to get those answers. If you just sit there and stew on it and try to work through it yourself, good luck, right? I mean, these are things that can't be reasoned through entirely apart from faith. Okay, and that's hard. It is a stretch for me too. But it's something that, honestly, you're going to be challenged with it again and again in your life. Things are really, really good until they're not. And the question is, are you going to keep believing the things that you believe? So, again, I'm happy to engage in that more. I think for this setting, at least this video, I think that's probably sufficient. My least favorite sport, I can answer that one really quick. That's probably football. And I know that's like heresy. Don't shoot me. But here's the deal. Football, I never got into. I never played it growing up. There's a lot of downtime in football. It's like super exciting, and it's really not. I was in marching band back in high school, and marching band was great. We went to all the football games, but I liked it mostly because it was time with friends, and you got like hot dogs or whatever. And then we had the halftime show we'd play, and then we'd take off and whatever. But after that, it's never stuck with me, and I know that's probably awful. Let's see here. Somebody says, should I buy the Lego Harry Potter castle or the Lego Death Star? And I would say this one's easy for me, and not just because I'm wearing the my Harry Potter sweatshirt. I would say you should get the Lego Harry Potter castle, and the reason for that is the Lego Death Star is really cool, and I love me some Star Wars, but it's kind of like the Death Star is just a gray sphere, and I know there's stuff inside of it, and it's cool, but I think it'd be more fun to build I assume we're talking about the Hogwarts castle. I think that'd be fun to build. I think it'd be more interesting visually when it's done to display and whatnot, so I would go for that, no question. If I could get two choices, I'd get them both, but there you go. And then two questions that are kind of related. Somebody says, have I had a hard time allocating time? And somebody else says, I have trouble finding productive activities to do that aren't centered around the computer. And I think those are connected. My answer is, yeah, it's kind of hard to allocate time because I barely know what day it is or what time of the day it is. I mean, I know if it's morning or afternoon, but all of a sudden I look up and it's like 6 o'clock. And I'm like, how did that happen? It's really hard when there's no clear line between like work and family. I mean, like, what is this? Is this work or is this fun right now? I don't even know. I mean, it's kind of both. It's really weird, and that's kind of messed up. And I have a lot of things that I want to do, and I don't get them done because I'll finish school, and then I'll end up, I'll go sit down, and I'll wake up an hour later, and I'm like, whoa, what happened? So yeah, and I don't feel too bad about that. I'm still getting a lot of stuff done, but I don't think we need to beat ourselves up. And that's, as far as the time around the computer, I don't think you need to feel bad about that. Sure, absolutely try new things. Go out there and, help your family get stuff done. We're trying to do some gardening. We're trying to, we need to paint our fence. So there's stuff we got to do. But do I keep finding myself doing comfortable things sometimes because the world is sort of like, and not for good, but like falling apart? Yeah. You got to find some comfort. And so I don't think that's entirely bad. Okay, this isn't normal. It might be normal for a little while, but that's when you look back on your life, when you're 50, you're going to be like, oh yeah, that was a period of time. Even if it's a year, even if it's a year and a half, 2 years. We don't know. But it's going to be just a small fraction. Okay, it really is. So do things that you enjoy. Do the things your parents want you to do. Try some new stuff and don't beat yourself up, okay? We're going to be okay in the long run. Guys, this is longer than I intended. I will, as always, keep the link down below so you can ask me more questions, but I don't know. Hopefully this is helpful. Maybe hearing a friendly voice, sounds like a Muppet, is something you enjoy. Hope you guys are doing well. Let me know what you think, if you agree, disagree with the things I'm saying in the comments, and not just because this is on YouTube, but because I want to engage in conversation with you for real, okay? So I hope you're doing well. I will talk to you guys soon, and look out for another video about some of my favorite things coming soon. Bye.